I'm back, and I had a very exhausting 3 days. Worked 32 hours. Very physically demanding work. And if you don't follow me on Facebook, then you wouldn't know what I've been posting there. But I think Tuesday I did like 20,000 steps, which is equivalent to just over 9 miles of walking. And then Wednesday I did 10,000, just over 10,000 steps. Yesterday I didn't do as many because the 4 of us techs that were there running the audiovisual for the event, they actually cut us out early. So I didn't get the amount of steps I was anticipating because, I didn't help with the loadout and the strike and, basically pushing all the equipment from the ballrooms, which is where we were having the event, down to the loading dock 2 floors below. So I only did like 3,000 something steps yesterday, so not that great, but it was very exhausting work. I probably taped close to 300 yards of cable in 2 days. And for those of you that don't know me personally, I'm a very big guy. I'm 6'2". I'm losing weight, but I am over 300 pounds, just over. And being on your knees for that long, especially when you're not accustomed to it, I was wiped. I rubbed my knees raw. And anyway, enough of the sob story there. Anyway, it is Friday, and I'm heading back to the church right now to finish up with the integration between the 2 churches' equipment. And then this evening I have to train the Presbyterian church, our host church. I have to train their guys on our soundboard because they've been running an analog Allen and Heath, and we're putting in our PreSonus Studio Live 16 channel mixer. So I don't anticipate that it's going to take me 6 hours to finish. So I brought my laptop with the anticipation and the assumption that I'll be done in a couple hours, maybe 3 hours. It's about noon right now, and I'll just go find a place to chill out for a couple hours until the training. So anyway, that's what I'm up to, and we will see you up there right now. And we are here. So one thing that I forgot to tell you about the last 3 days, I think all I can tell you is that it was a conference of a technological nature. But the really cool thing is that the keynote speaker yesterday was Steve Wozniak. And for those of you that may not know who that is, he's one of the co-founders of Apple. So it was really cool just to kind of hear him talk, hear his mind, and for an engineer who claims to be introverted, he was very talkative. And I don't know if that's just because he's learned to be that way because of his fame, but anyway, it was, I geeked out for a little bit. It's true, I'll admit it. But anyway, getting back to here and the project for today, my job, my goal is to get, well, first I have to finish integrating sound stuff here, but I need to get all of that stuff in here. And I was supposedly getting a shelf today, or by today. That didn't happen, it looks like. So I'm going to have to get creative. So at this point, it may not look pretty by the time I'm done, but it'll be functional, and that's the important thing. And I am also missing the wireless, it looks like, so I need to call my pastor to figure out where that is. But yeah, let me get to it. All right, well, I have made some progress. Let me show you what I've done. So I went ahead and I removed this stuff that was up here. Just, it wasn't going to work. The adhesive, it wasn't the Velcro, but it was the adhesive on the Velcro that was not working. So I moved their distribution guy right there because, you know, we don't need to access it that often. That's their auto switcher. And then I'm going to mount our HDMI splitter and just various things up here for the time being, since I don't have my shelf. I also need to verify that the output of their computer, which I believe is right there, is indeed plugged in here and has, and we can hear it. So I may have to pull this whole thing out in order to do that. I did get the wireless up. It was here, I just didn't see it. It was on a pew. All the wiring is done with the exception of power. So I got that on my list of things that I need, a 6-foot power cord. So I'm going to get going on this, and once I get this done for the video, I'll see if I can't track or trace down their computer audio, get that plugged in, and then I have to resolder a connector on the stage for the subwoofer output from the floor pocket. The cable that's going in there has the wrong gender connector on it. So I have the right connector, I just have to, you know, unsolder that connector and put the right one on there. So it's got a male, and I think it needs a female. No, it's got a female and it needs a male. That's what it is. So slowly but surely, I'm getting there. I think the TV, so the TV that we use as a multi-viewer, I'm going to clamp up on the shelf there. The other thing that concerns me right now is that I don't have screws for back. I mean, I've got that one, but you can see that it's too small for that hole. So I need to go get bigger screws that are actually going to retain that, because you can see the, well, let me see here. Let me see if you actually can see. You can see that there's quite a bit of space there, and it's not clamping down simply because this stuff is so heavy. And that concerns me because for several reasons, not least of which is, you know, I stand at this station. The last thing I want is for this whole thing to come down because it wasn't properly secured. So I need to go do that. So I'm making a list of stuff that I need. But, you know, we're getting there. The other issue is I don't have a working key for this place. The key that I was given is actually for internal doors. So I may not be able to run out until I can get as far as I absolutely can. And then I'll show up for training, and then I'll just wire that stuff up real quick. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Anyway, like I said, it's coming along. All right. I've got the temporary setup completed. And I do stress temporary, because a lot of this is going to change when I get that shelf. So the shelf is now, that shelf is completely occupied now. I have 3 or 4 just spare XLRs. I'm going to get some screw-in hooks, and I'm going to put them in at least a couple back here, maybe one right there. That way it can just give me something to hang spare cables on. So we've got their switcher
That's the balun coming in from the camera. That's our splitter. So we take our computer signal, which comes in from over here, split it. One goes to their switcher and one goes to our switcher. Their switcher sends the signal up to the projectors through the distribution unit right there. Here's our lighting controller. Obviously this is the video switcher. This is our recorder. I don't have the TV mounted yet, the monitor for this, mainly because of these screws that are missing under here. So I want to secure the shelf better before I mount more weight up here on that side. And then this is the little Netgear wireless router that we have, because this recorder requires a DHCP. It requires an IP address, basically, because it also streams. So I have another network cable here. I figured I've got something that's serving IP addresses, so why not connect the mixer so that we can finally access. Actually, that's not going to work. Well, it might work. I don't know. We'll see. What I'm going to try and do is connect to that Wi-Fi, and then see if I can't use the PreSonus app, which escapes me right now, to control it remotely. So, not that I'm going to operate it that way, but you know, when I'm up talking with the musicians or something like that, or if I'm out walking around checking the sound, it would be nice to be able to change the sound, you know, from where I'm at, and I can hear the change, versus walking all the way back here, making a change, walking back into the speaker coverage, that kind of thing. Because right now we're pretty much out of it, so it makes it difficult to mix. Anyway, that's where we're at. Because of the key situation, I won't be able to get back in until the training, so I'm going to go pick up a few things, like the screw hooks and the screws that I need for the shelf, and I need a 6-foot extension cord to power the wireless microphone receivers. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to get some food. It's like after 4, and it's going to be lunch for me, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back here. I think they said 6:30, so just a couple hours. Well, training is done. Sorry I didn't show it to you, but 3 people showed up, 2 of which actually run the sound, and out of, I think, 6 or 7 that were supposed to show up. So it really wasn't that great. And one of the 2 that were there to get trained stayed for like 15 minutes, and he was like, I'm about to faint, I need to go. So I guess he gets up early, I don't know. Maybe he had a hard week. Anyway, other than the shelf getting installed, which that did show up with one of the guys. He had built it, he just hadn't put it in yet. So he was just checking it for size, and he wanted to know, you know, how high I wanted it mounted, that kind of thing. So I was happy to share that with him, and he was like, well, you know, I could try and get it in tomorrow before you guys have service. And I was like, you know, honestly, the way things are mounted and connected and everything, it would just really mess things up more than anything. So he's gonna get it in a couple weeks. So, you know, we still have some work to do, but you know, the big transition and the big equipment and everything, it's all done. I mean, the only stuff that's left is really cosmetic. So I'm not gonna worry about that too much. We can pick away at that over the next few weeks. Anyway, thanks for coming along, and if you have any suggestions of how I can make these videos more compelling, more interesting, more engaging, just basically better in any way, please let me know. Shoot a comment over. You could shoot me an email or a message through YouTube. However you want to get in touch with me, please feel free. I really want to know how to make this content more applicable and more relevant to you. And that's not me trying to be a good marketer or anything like that. It's me trying to be a resource for you guys. This channel and this content exists for you. It doesn't exist for me. You know, it's not that producing these videos is some great burden on me, but it does take time and it does take effort on my part. So, you know, if this is not helpful to you, then I want to know why it's not helpful and how it might be more helpful. I know a lot of it's just me talking and telling you what's going on instead of showing you what's going on. In this particular case, it's because my battery's running low. And, you know, usually I have a lot more, not time lapse, but, you know, footage of me doing things rather than me talking at you. So I do recognize that for this particular project, and I do apologize for that. So I think maybe I'm going to get back into doing more regular videos, because that way I'm thinking about stuff like that. But I don't know. It seemed to me that documenting my everyday life was it was a lot of the same, and you know, I was getting bored with watching it, so I can only imagine how yawn worthy it was for you guys. So anyway, yeah, so just let me know what you'd like to see. If you'd like to see more demos of products, if you'd like to see reviews, if you'd like to see more installs, that kind of thing. I am working on more installs coming up. I should have 2 or 3 coming up in the next couple of months. So that is awesome. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. If you have suggestions for making this better, please let me know. Until next time, God bless.